Hey everybody, so we're going to be talking about the division properties of exponents today. Um, and we're still going to be using that same process of expanding until we understand. So I want you to make sure that you keep doing this until you understand. We're going to be going over 2 to 3 different properties, and sometimes we have to apply a couple of different ones. This first section right here, you'll recall that when we were doing systems, we kept looking for something that would zero out. For this one right here, whenever we're doing division, we're looking for things that are going to actually one out. And what that actually means is that we are dividing matching factors out, and they end up oneing out. So let's see that when we actually go ahead and expand our first example right here. So when we go ahead and expand this out, we get 2 x's being multiplied by each other with 3 y's. And then on the bottom right here, we get 1x with 5 y's being multiplied by each other. And then what's going to end up happening, just like 4 divided by 4, 1's out because it's 1, the same thing is the case with x divided by x. It'll 1 out. So right here, and I'm going to switch colors so we can see it a little bit better, this x is going to 1 out, as well as 3 pairs of y's that will 1 out. This leaves you with just 1x on the top and y times y on the bottom. However, we don't leave our answer like this. Instead, we are going to write our answer as x over y squared. And this would be our final answer, showing us that this 2 is that we're multiplying that y by itself 2 times. So here's another problem. And this one's a little bit different because you're also having to simplify this set of constants right here. So when we go ahead and expand it out, we get -4 times a times a times b times b times b. And you'll notice that what ends up happening is that we're going to have some that will 1 out and some that don't, and that's okay. And also, if you notice, I am stacking my letters and kind of expanding them out a little bit more than usual so that each of these letters right here actually line up with the appropriate and respective letters. Now, we notice that this set of A and this set of B, they 1 out, and that's fine. But you still have the set of constants, and you have to go ahead and simplify that fraction. Now, you can either put that in your calculator or remember that this is still a fraction, and you know how to reduce fractions. So both of these have a 4 in common, and -4 divided by 4 is going to get you a -1. And 24 divided by 4 is going to get you a +6. And we do the same thing that we had on example 1, and we keep the ones that are still remaining, the factors that are still remaining. So we've got -1, a, and b squared, since we have b times b here. And then on the bottom, we've got 6 and a c. Now, as we've talked about before in the past, you're not going to see that 1. If you put the 1 there, it's okay, but we're proper people in Masamji's class, so we are not going to need to put that 1 down, and this right here will be your final answer. And this, if you're looking on your formula chart, is called the quotient property. And there is a trick to it that we will be talking about in our final one of our final lessons over exponents. And that's where you get to see all of the rules that they give you on the formula chart. Now, this one, it's a little bit different. All right. And negative exponents, they're just reciprocals. And if you don't remember what that is, look that back up because that's all the way from chapter 1. And with negative exponents, it's super important that if you don't see it as a fraction, like on number 3, make it 1. So if it's not a fraction, make it 1. And you'll notice that I'm making an emphasis when I write the word 1. And that's because whenever we have a whole number, such as 4, and we're writing this as a fraction, we put it over 1. And that's going to help us when we do a problem like this. We are going to make this entire thing right here over 1. And I also want you to put 1 times, just in case if you need it. Now, the thing about negative exponents is, in case if you didn't see that emoji, they are super sad. They are in the wrong place right now. So this 3 that's being taken to a negative second power, it's on the wrong side of the fraction. It needs to be on the bottom. And so we're going to go ahead and put that 3 to the second power now. This exponent becomes positive when it goes to the right side. If it's sad, then it's in the wrong place and it's negative. But if it's happy, it's a positive and it's in the right place. Now, you'll notice that there's nothing else there. We did have 1s here, but 1 times anything is just that number itself. So we don't need this 1 anymore. And that 1 at the top keeps our numerator full and valid, and that's all you need for your answer. You can simplify 3 squared, and it's going to get you 1 over 9. With negative exponents, they're pretty easy. You just have to remember you have to swap sides if they're negative. Now, let's try number 4. This one's a little bit different. Let me make some room for us since I got a little bit extra right here. My apologies. All right, so now that we've got some room, because this is not a fraction, we're going to make it 1, which means we're going to put it over 1 and multiply the numerator by 1. You do have one sad exponent right here, that negative 3, and it's with the x. So we're going to take that entire factor right there and we're going to move it to the other side. So now that x is very happy and it becomes a positive 3. It comes with the positive 3 for an exponent. This 4 right here, it's still here, so we're going to leave it on the numerator. And for us this time, we didn't need to have any of those 1s anymore. This was and is our final answer. Now, of course, you know Miss Samji, you know me. It's not always going to be that easy. And I want you to be prepared for when those star people, when those nasty test people come for you, you know what to do. So when you have a problem like this, you've got all sorts of negativity going along. You've got all sorts of sad people. Let's move them. So this sad B right here is going to go down, and the sad C is going to go up. And now let's go ahead and rewrite it. So at the top, we've got an a squared. The b to the 4th is no longer there. We do have a c cubed. And this c to the 1st is actually moving to the top, so it joins us here. Now let's look at the bottom, our denominator. We've got a to the 5th. We've got our b. And we've also got this b to the negative 4th that came down. We're going to write that one in. And that's all we have. So now you're going to do the same thing that we did for problems 1 and 2. and you're going to expand until you understand. If you see the shortcut, awesome, use it. So right here, we've got 2 A's at the top being multiplied by 3 C's, and then another C. We've got 5 A's being multiplied at the bottom. Ooh. And then 1 B, and then 4 more B's right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now you're looking for matching pairs. So I've got an A that cancels out here. And if you can't line them up sometimes, that's okay. Just cross them off as you go. And well, that's all we've got to match up. So what ends up happening is that at the top, we've got C to the 4th, all over A to the 1, 2, 3rd, and B to the 5th. And this would be our final answer. And when you've got the switcheroo, it's actually nice as long as you set it up first. And now that switcheroo can also happen when you've got a problem like this. You've got this entire thing right here being taken to a negative exponent. So there are 2 ways to get this started, and they will both get you to the same second step. So the first way is that you're going to share this love and put that exponent on each the numerator and the denominator. So you've got something like 4 to the negative second over 3x to the negative second. Oops. Wrong parentheses there. You also have the other way, which is if you've got a negative, you know that the reciprocal means that you're going to flip it. So what you're going to do when it's a reciprocal, the top becomes the bottom and the bottom becomes the top. So now you've got 3x over 4 on the inside being taken to the positive second power since you've applied the reciprocal property. And no matter what you do, your next step is going to be the same. If you're doing it here, you know that the negative exponents, this 4 is going to go to the bottom and become 4 squared at the bottom. And this is going to go to the top, making it 3x squared at the top. Or you can do it the other way around, which is now with the blue part right here, you can share the love on each of them, and it's going to become 3x squared and 4 squared, which was the exact same thing that we had when we did it in purple. It doesn't matter which way you choose, as long as it makes sense to you. You will still get the same answer. And we're going to go ahead and expand this one out. And some of you might already see it, and that's okay. We're going to do 3x times 3x. Oops. And we've got 4 squared, and y'all know 4 squared, it's 16. And then we've got a 3 times 3, which is 9, and an x times x, which is x squared. And don't forget about that denominator of ours, it's over 16. So that's all I've got for you for dividing when we're working with exponents. This property is a negative exponent property that you see on your formula part, on your formula chart. But you will not see it as intensive as this. So you need to know how to apply the negative exponent property. And remember that all they're doing is they're going to be switching sides to make them positive. So wish you luck. And I hope to see you next time when we go over all of the properties.